Hi anime lovers. Welcome to A for Anime channel. In this video, we are going to talk about solo leveling anime. The most heartfelt episode of the solo leveling anime thus far has to be the recently aired 9th episode of the second season, in which Sung Jinwoo finally crafts the elusive elixir of life, and administers it to his mother, who fell into a coma 4 years prior to the events of the series due to the effects of the eternal sleep disease. After the battle against the demon monarch, Baran, you could say episode 9 was a lot less eventful than the one before it, but it showed commitment to the continued setup of the upcoming and highly anticipated Jeju Island arc, culminating in the teasing of a battle between S-rank hunters coming in episode 10, set to broadcast on Saturday, March 8th. The elixir of life's final ingredient is the purified blood of the demon monarch, Baran, whom Jin-Woo defeated at the end of the previous episode in an absolutely incredible visual spectacle. When prompted by the system, Jinwoo's nervousness is clear, as it's possible that the crafting of the elixir of life could fail. However, it is successful, giving Jin-Woo 6 vials of the potion, and he also gains some interesting loot from the deceased demon king, like a rune stone containing a new shadow skill, Shadow Exchange, which gives him the ability to swap positions with a shadow he has posted to a particular location. Iron, the shadow taken from Kim Chul, is smart enough to bring Jinwoo the corpse of the dragon Baran rode into battle for Jinwoo to turn into a shadow he names Kaisel. Essel Radairu is overjoyed and invites Jinwoo to a party at the Radairu castle, but Jinwoo is too anxious to put the elixir to the test to stick around the demon castle any longer. To avoid losing access to the dungeon, however, Jinwoo uses his new skill to post one of his shadow soldiers in the spot where he killed Baran. Back in Seoul, Jinwoo is surprised to have actually traded places with his shadow soldier, and immediately heads to the hospital where his mother is, immediately riding his new dragon into the night. Go Gun-hee and Woo Jin-chul of the Korean Hunter Association run over the plan for the Jeju Island Raid that was discussed with the Japanese Draw Sword Guild in Solo Leveling Season 2 Arise from the Shadow Episode 8. The Jeju Island Raid plan can be simplified into 3 steps. Hunter magic power will act as bait for the ants, drawing them away from the hive. A special signal will be used to disrupt their hive mind. While the ants are distracted, a detachment of hunters will enter the colony while its soldiers are away and dispatch the queen. The big question is whether the signal will work as intended, but it appears that there's a high chance it will succeed, with a contingency plan in place in the event that it doesn't. Elsewhere, the White Tiger Guild leader Baek Yunho is having a drink with an old friend, S-rank healer, Min Byeong-Gu, who retired from being a hunter due to the trauma incurred during the 3rd Jeju Island Raid, which is the very first thing we see in the solo leveling anime. Byeong-Gu seems to be in good spirits, and Baek feels nostalgic around him, but the mood darkens when Byeong-Gu asks if Baek really intends to go back to Jeju Island, especially after seeing how their friend Yoonseok died there during the 3rd raid. Baek claims that Yoonseok's death is precisely why he's going, because if nothing's done about them, the ants will repeat that same tragedy all over the country. Byeong-Gu's trauma runs deep, and he can no longer handle the sight of blood or violence, deciding to take the public service exam and work for the government. However, despite that, the conversation with Baek moves Byeong-Gu to eventually consider lending his abilities to the 4th Jeju Island Raid operation. Learning more about the impact of the world on characters other than Sung Jin-Woo serves the story well, and Baek's vulnerability in this episode works well to broaden his character. Later, Byeong-Gu remembers the conversation he had with the late Yoonseok prior to the previous raid, but there was something his friends said back then that helped him make his decision. As scared as they may be, people who can't even fight for themselves must be several times more scared than they are. At this rate, it seems like Byeong-Gu will come out of retirement. Solo Leveling Season 2 Arise from the Shadow Episode 9's best moment is around 10 minutes in, when Jinwoo finally administers the elixir of life to his mother, recalling every single hardship he has endured just for this very moment. He remembers how his mother suffered severe burns because of his carelessness in his childhood, and it's clear just how much is riding on this for him. It is a truly heart-wrenching scene that is almost out of place because of how little emotion we've gotten from Jinwoo since his ordeal. For him, this should be the end of the journey. He now has everything he ever wanted, but even in his happiness, he still feels anxiety. The reunion is a very well-executed moment that makes you connect with Jinwoo as a character, reaffirming his humanity and reconnecting him to his beginning-of-series self in a very profound way. The soundtrack choice was also on point, creating the series' most emotionally charged moment, perhaps since Jinwoo was abandoned at the Kartanan Temple. The animation was also impeccable, with Jinwoo's facial expressions conveying oceans of emotion that deserve as much praise as the series' fight scenes have gotten. Jinah has the same reaction when she visits the next day, and as you'd expect, the patient who woke up from the coma caused by eternal sleep disease was the talk of the ward. The Elixir of Life heals all wounds, and even seemed to turn back the clock for Jinwoo's mother a few years. With his mother cured of the eternal sleep disease, it's only a matter of time before a certain individual comes seeking the same treatment, but for now, Jinwoo can enjoy the kind of home life he'd always dreamed of. Before anything can happen, though, the three of them get to fixing the state in which Jinah left the apartment in the week that her older brother was away, which made for a moment of brevity after the intense emotions of the reunion. The association had been trying to contact Jinwoo while he was in the Demon Castle, and now that they have finally made contact, they bring him up to speed with the upcoming raid. He can barely concentrate now, as he thinks about his future. The conversation with the chairman is disrupted when Jinwoo feels the resonance of mana from the S-rank hunters training nearby, and opts to observe, with Baek-Yunho and Ma Dong-wook of the Fame Guild engaging in a sparring match. The S-rankers from Japan's Draw Sword Guild enter and immediately start belittling the Korean hunters, leading to a contest between the combat types of both countries. On the Korean side, Baek-Yunho, Ma Dong-wook, Cha Hae-in and Lim Tae-gyu of the Reapers Guild, while Team Japan has Tawada, Kumamoto, Hoshino and Tanaka for a 4-on-4 free-for-all in which being tagged on the back or twist or touching the floor with anything other than feet spells defeat. Episode 9 was a decent break from the hype of the past few episodes, and a great way to build things back up for the Jeju Island Raid arc, as in the next episode, we'll get to see how strong the raid party really is. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. For more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe the channel. If you enjoyed it, please thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below what you thought about the episode. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.